Welcome to Bits and Pieces Quilting. Today I want to share with you a full tutorial to make the Fibonacci Spiral quilt. Stay tuned. The Fibonacci Spiral is an original pattern based on mathematics. Fibonacci was a 12th century mathematician, and his name has been given to a sequence of numbers that is frequently called the golden ratio. And the sequence starts at 0 and then 1, and by adding each number together with the previous number, the sequence is created. So 0 plus 1 gives you the next number in the sequence, which is 1. 1 plus the previous number, 1, become 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 plus 3 is 8, and so on. When formed into a spiral, you see the Fibonacci spiral or the Fibonacci sequence reflected in a number of things in nature, including the shell of a nautilus that starts off small and the sections get bigger as you go around, as well as in the shape of pine cones and other flowers. It's a fascinating concept, and I tried to apply those ideas to a square for quilts. Stay tuned and see how it goes. The Fibonacci spiral is really well suited to fat quarters. You will need 10 for this project. It's also really well suited to scraps, but that will give you a much more scrappy look to the final project. By using fat quarters from a coordinating line of fabric, you get a much more organized look to the Fibonacci spiral. These are the fabrics that I chose from a bundle that I had purchased from Connecting Threads. I like the black and white and gray and cream. I think it gives it a bit of an elegance. To cut the fat quarters for the Fibonacci spiral, I've stacked up 3 of them here because that's what I'm comfortable cutting. And because you need 10 in total, I'm going to cut them in a set of 4 and 2 sets of 3. So this is a set of 3 that I'm going to cut. We need to cut 2 strips that are 5.5 inches wide, 1 strip that's 3.5 inches wide, and 1 strip that's 2.5 inches wide. So to get started, I'm going to line up my long ruler. Unfortunately, this long ruler is only 5 inches wide, so I need that extra 1/2 inch. So I'm going to use my smaller ruler to make sure I have that extra 1/2 inch. Line this up to make sure it's nice and straight, and then pressing down on the ruler with a nice sharp blade, cutting smoothly and confidently across the entire fat quarter. So there we go. So I'll come back and I'll trim that up in a minute. The next strip is also a 5.5 inch strip. So line that up. Same thing, cut confidently. And then I need a 3.5 inch strip, so I can use just the ruler for that. Line that up. Oh, it looks like, looks like this strip got a little narrow up here. I think my ruler may have moved. Extra reason to keep it. Oh no, that looks pretty good. All right. So why does this look a little off? See, this is the magic of fabric, folks. Oh no, maybe it was just me. All right, never mind. 3.5 inch strip, there we are. And then the last strip is a 2.5 inch strip. Make sure that hasn't shifted. There we go, 2.5. So this is exciting. This pattern makes every use of your fat quarter. I recommend you do not wash them in advance, because if you do, they will fray on the edges and you will lose the amount that you need to make this work. So, as you can see, that is really cutting it close. And in fact, I think, oh no, that's fine. That's a nice sharp edge down there. I was going to say I was going to cut my 2.5 inch strips, or my squares, starting at this end, because I know that they'll work out perfectly and I only need 6. There's a little extra, but that looks okay. So don't wash them in advance, because the fraying on the edges will mean that you lose a little bit of the yardage that you need for this pattern. Now, of course, if you wanted to use 10 or 12 fat quarters to add more variety to your quilt, then go ahead and wash them, because then you don't need to cut the same number out of each fat quarter. Normally I prefer to wash my fabric first, but in this instance I knew the math was really tight. So there we go. This is a 5.5 inch to square up. Cut off that raw edge. Again, very, very little waste. And as this is bits and pieces quilting, that's a really good thing, I think. So now I'm going to cross cut. I need 3 5.5 inch blocks out of each of these, and then 6 3.5 inch and 6 2.5 inch out of these strips. From the leftovers, or from the other piece of the 5.5 inch strips that I don't need, after I cut the 3 5.5 inch squares, I'll have some leftovers. From there, I'll cut the 6 1.5 inch squares that I need. So I'm going to put this on fast forward, and I'll come back and show you how to put this together. See here at the end of my 3.5 inch strip, I'm just 1/8 of an inch short. So that is not going to work. So I have 5 that I've cut here, but the 6th one isn't going to work, which is too bad. So I am going to take this piece, which was the leftover from my 5.5 inch strip, and I'm going to cut that last 3.5 inch square that I need out of this piece before moving on to my final 2.5 inch strip. I need 6 sets of everything in order to have all the pieces that I need to make this quilt. So this is also extra. So there you have it. Out of 3 fat quarters, I have cut 6 sets of 5.5 inch squares, 6 sets of 1.5 inch squares, 3.5 inch squares, and 2.5 inch squares. And then these are the pieces that are left over. I have a 3.5 and not quite 3.5 inch piece, a 2 inch piece, and a 2.5 inch piece. So I can use these for another project, or as I'm constructing the units, if I want a little extra variety, I can subcut these into the 1.5 or the 2.5 inch pieces in order to get some different variety in my blocks. So here we are. Everything is all cut. I have 60 5.5 inch squares, 3.5 inch squares, 2.5 inch squares, 1.5 inch squares from 10 fat quarters. And in terms of leftovers, there's a small little pile over here. But as I said earlier, if I need or want a little variety in my 1 and 2.5 inch squares, then I can draw from my leftover pile. But otherwise, those bits and pieces will get added to a new project in the future. So let's put one of these blocks together. And so here we have all the pieces that you need to make a Fibonacci spiral block. We have 2 1.5 inch pieces, a 2.5 inch piece, 3.5 inch piece, and a 5.5 inch piece. The Fibonacci sequence is made up of numbers that when added together give you the total for the next number. So let me explain. When you have a 1.5 inch piece, these you have to remember finish at 1 inch. So this will be a 1 inch piece, a 2 inch piece, a 3 inch piece, and a 5 inch piece. So 1 plus 1 is 2,
2 plus 1 is 3. 2 plus 3 is 5, thus giving us our Fibonacci sequence. And in the end, the spiral will start here in the center and spin around and spiral out this way through the final block. So I'm going to sew this together and show you what it looks like. I'll start by sewing the two 1.5 inch pieces together, add the 2.5 inch piece, add this 3.5 inch piece, and then add the 5.5 inch piece. And there you have the final Fibonacci spiral block. It finishes at 8.5 by 5.5, and once it's sewn into the quilt, the finished block size will be 8 inches by 5 inches. The spiral starts here in the center and spirals out and around and this way through the block. So that's where we get our Fibonacci spiral. You need to make 60 of these blocks. If you're very particular, you can lay out each individual block and make sure all your fabrics are different. Or if you're like me, you can take a step-by-step approach. I'm going to chain piece all of my 1.5 inch blocks together, making sure they're all different. Once that's finished, I'll add a 2.5 inch block to those, making sure they're different, and just keep working my way around the spiral, adding a different square to each set until I have all my 60 blocks made. Then I'll show you how to lay out the quilt. So here is a really good reason why you should test all patterns before putting them out into public. After I made my test block, I sat down to chain piece the 1.5 inch pieces, and all throughout this video I talked about cutting 6 of these 1.5 inch pieces out of each of your fat quarters. But if you read the pattern and the original draft of the pattern, you'll see that you actually need 12 of these, not just 6. But I didn't read the pattern really carefully and got caught up in making my groups of 6 of all of the other blocks and forgot that I needed 12 of these. So it's a really good thing that I have all these extra pieces here so that I can cut those extra 6 pieces out of each of the, those extra pieces out of each of these leftovers out of the fat quarters in order to have enough. So I'm going to cut those pieces now and then sew them into these little pairs so that I have 60 instead of just 30. Lesson learned. Count, double count, measure twice, cut once. All right, so there's the other 1.5 inch squares cut, and that leaves just a few pieces of fabric, 2.5 inches wide by only about, about 6 inches long, and a few more scraps that'll go into the trash as a result of my miscutting. I'll be sure to edit the instructions in the pattern so that no one else makes this mistake. I've inserted the quilt diagram for the Fibonacci spiral quilt so that you can see how the blocks are laid out. It's a little bit complicated because each row is laid out a little bit differently, each alternating row. So rows 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 are laid out vertically or with the long side along the long sides, and then each block is flipped up and down so that the smaller pieces alternate top and bottom along the row. Rows 2, 4, 6, and 8 are laid out horizontally end to end. The purpose is to mix up all of the different fabrics so that even though the blocks are quite organized and orderly in the Fibonacci spiral, when they come out into the final product, they're a little bit more mixed up and it gives it more of a dynamic look, I think. When the quilt is put together, you'll see that it's really hard to actually pick out where one block starts and stops. But because I've used some coordinating fabrics, there's still a cohesive feel to the final product.
I hope you enjoyed this tutorial for the Fibonacci spiral. The pattern is available for download on my website at bitsandpiecesquilting.com. Thanks very much for watching. Leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. And enjoy making the most of your fabric bits and pieces.